The
Good.
NimblewNumbers team presents.
Is it chalk blocked?
No, I fucked that up. But you know what?
It's okay. This is
happened.
the clash of the beards and bellies. Scott is the best producer I've ever known.
The only producer.
It's like saying you're my best friend from Maryland.
Right. You're like, you don't know. Well, no, because you know Denny, so you could leave me for Denny.
Mike Collins might be catching up to you if you keep hard entering like that.
Yeah, that was. I think last time I did the chalk block intro on both of the shows, and so
I don't think it matters. If
I don't
anybody
think it matters.
watching this, they want to know
Duff
who's
is here.
yeah,
Brad's in the house.
Brad Duff's been taking our lunch money in fantasy when he won the league last year.
First again.
He's good at this game we call fantasy. And Scott Simpson's back on the winning track. I only got I got 2 wins in a row, and then my giant lead in the aggregate score evaporated. So now I'm losing where we're 2-2 on the wins and losses, but you are now ahead slightly in the points aggregate. So we have a whole new ball game, I guess, after your resounding victory in week 4, which was one of the worst DFS weeks I've ever had.
I'm just going to say that was one of the weirdest weeks we've ever had, too, with
Geno Smith, QB1.
Right. And then you did call Rashad Penny. I will say that. That was a great call on
Eckler and Penny. If I had I had lineups where Eckler and Penny were more than half of my total for the team.
You hit fire on a few. That's the thing. It's hard to combine them all. I remember one time I watched Pete Overzet, and he was doing a show, and he had every single one was a snowflake except for like his kicker or whatever. Defense. Yeah. And I said, is he the snowflake king? And he went, no. And he put it up there, and because it's hard to get them all right. It's hard to get them all wrong. It's hard to do that. So you did nail the running backs last week, and I nailed T.J. Hawkinson. That's kind of all I needed was the Hawk.
Hawkinson won it for you.
Yeah. I can go back and show you the lineup real quick if I was more nimble with my numbers.
You're strong with the Hawk.
Yeah. So this was your lineup last week. And Tunyon looked good, but Hawk was better. Didn't really matter what anybody else did because we kind of even up
41.9 from Hawkinson. That won it for you.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, that was the leverage play on the slate. So let's talk about your lineup this week though, because you went heavy bone with it. And I didn't know this was your lineup. I thought you had a different lineup in which I thought was
I sent you a lineup on Wednesday.
Yes.
And it was a lineup that I was looking for ideas. I was looking for feedback with that first lineup I sent you. I wasn't even thinking about the clash. I was thinking about GPP, looking for leverage, and it was a lot different from this one. This one I was looking for a cash lineup, but with a stack that I could hit some upside with if I was right about it. So this is a lot different than the one I sent you on Wednesday, but I like this one because we have a couple stacks. We have some really low values, and of course we have running backs against really bad run defenses.
Yeah. This is the thing I'm disappointed about is the 2 best players that you have. I have them too. So I mean, we're kind of not.
I'm upset about that too.
Yeah, that bothers me, because and it bothers you.
J-Rob and Diggs are the 2 smash plays here. I think it's good that we're on the same page there, but you having the Brady Evans stack, it's worrisome because you have Brady and Evans and Diggs and J-Rob, and I think you're chasing points on Penny this week and Hawkinson, but it might not matter because if those guys even just have a solid week, I think your lineup's really solid. I might have to steal this one for one of my tournaments that I enter.
You're welcome to. Here's what I'm chasing. I thought you might go with the Rashad Penny. I just like the value there. Honestly, it's 5,300. I think he gets you 18 points, 17 points. That's all I want. I don't need to get 50 points or anything like that. But the Hawkinson thing, here's what I'm chasing. I'm not chasing past performances. I'm chasing past poor performances by the defense over there for New England because they've given up. How many touchdowns have they given up to tight end so far? Do you know? Because they lead the league.
4 or 5 already.
It's 5. Yeah, 5 and 164 yards. And so that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the fact that they've already shown that they suck against the tight end. It would matter kind of who's going in there, but I do like the Hawkins in there.
I think it's interesting, however, that you took Damian Harris over Ramondre Stevenson.
You know what? This was when I went
They're
back.
$100 apart. They both
I
have
know.
great matchups.
Money didn't matter. Money didn't
But
matter.
I
It
was
wasn't a
I
money
was
thing.
interested to see that you went with Harris. I'm kind of on the Stevenson side because he does have some minuscule receiving value. And if the Patriots are beating the Lions, then I think Harris has a good game, but he's not going to get any receiving work whatsoever. And if he's not getting goal line carries, then you're just hoping that he breaks a 20-yard touchdown run and puts up 100 yards to get you that bonus.
Yeah. It was hard going back and forth. I think both of these guys eat, though. The Detroit Lions are giving up 30-plus fantasy points to running backs every week. It's kind of a smash spot. Same with Robinson. That's why we both went Robinson in cash. Houston Texans against.
And combine that with it's either going to be Gimpy Mac Jones at quarterback or Bailey Zappi at quarterback for the Patriots. They're not going to want to throw the ball a lot.
No. And they're at home. And so you're going to draw the clock out. I can see Bill Belichick, defense swarming, crowd in it. If they get a couple turnovers, it's 14-0 quick. They might be just running both of those boys all day long. So I think it's a coin flip. The touchdown equity, though, Harris has had more of it. That's kind of why I went there. If you want to be honest, it's a slight edge. Maybe it changes this week and it goes to Ramondre. So it is tricky.
I'm with you. I think they're dead even, and they're both good plays.
Yeah, both of them. Let me ask you a question here. You talked about the Tom Brady, Mike Evans stack. You have the Diggs, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen stack. Now, not counting that I have Diggs in there too. So let's just cancel that out there. Tell me what you like about in that stack, because I want to build some lineups with that stack too. And then how have you differentiated yourself here down at the bottom? I really like what you've done with Shakir.
Yeah, so it's Josh Allen. It has been involved in every single offensive touchdown the Bills have scored this season.
Oh, that's nice.
There have been no rushing touchdowns by Singletary or Cook or Zach Moss. There's been obviously no touchdown passes that didn't involve Josh Allen. So Josh Allen has thrown all the touchdowns, and every rushing touchdown the Bills have scored this year has been Josh Allen. So I'm going to say that at 8,200, I'm not just hoping for a touchdown or two to Stephon Diggs. I'm not just looking for that 20, 25-point performance from Diggs against Pittsburgh secondary that's not very good.
Trash.
I'm also looking for the high volume of passing that Allen has around Diggs, which I'm hoping will include Khalil Shakir with Jamison Crowder breaking his ankle and McKenzie on the mend from a concussion. He might or might not clear protocol. If he doesn't, then Shakir is wheels up. If he does, Shakir's still going to be involved here because there was already a split in snaps in the slot for the Buffalo Bills. So I do like Khalil Shakir standalone value, especially if McKenzie cannot go on Sunday. But I want Josh Allen in my lineup, especially for cash games because of the rushing upside, the passing upside, and of course pairing him with a couple guys that can add on to that correlation for me. I really am a big fan of their potential this week against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think what's crazy is that Josh Allen last week was a down week for him. He finished 5th overall, 24 points in DraftKings. 5th overall. That's
week. His floor. That's his floor.
Down week. Terrible week, really. Like, you look at terrible week.
Terrible, yeah. He did not look good.
No.
And then the dust settles and he's QB5.
Better than 27 other starting quarterbacks. So I think this is a smash, and I like it in GPP too, honestly. I think Diggs has potential and Allen has potential to be the nuts. I mean, it's expensive. It's expensive stack. But the Shakir, I like it because it differentiates. Now, also, Dawson Knox is a little expensive. I mean,
Knox is out. Knox is out.
Knox is out. Oh, no. See, that's what happens when you work all day. I had a to-do list that was this long at school today.
So it's going to be Tommy Sweeney at tight end. It's going to be Gilliam, the fullback, that's going to get a lot of receiving work. So if you want to play a min price running back this week, guys, 4,000 flat for the Bills fullback, Reggie Gilliam. He's getting receiving work.
That's dirty. That's almost as dirty as Hunter Henry at 2,900. Talk about that. That seems to be GPP written all over it, but you got to get value somewhere.
2,900 is crazy low for a guy who scored double-digit touchdowns last year. Whether it's Gimpy Mac Jones or rookie from Western Kentucky, Bailey Zappi, who's the all-time leader for a single season in passing yards and passing touchdowns in NCAA history. Nice. He's going to look for his tight end, and guess what? Jonnu Smith is out. So where they were sharing a moderate, there was a moderate workload shared between the two tight ends for the Patriots. Now there's just Henry. And usually when you get either injured or inexperienced quarterbacks, especially in an offense like the Patriots have, where it's really trimmed back already with the play callers not knowing the whole playbook by now.
Oh my gosh.
Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, they're going to simplify this down to the bare bones, whether it's Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi. And Hunter Henry is right there at 2,900. And I just need him to score 10 points, guys.
Touchdown, maybe 6 catches.
Just 4 catches for 40 yards. Just give me 4 for 40, baby.
4 for 40. That sounds like a Jose Canseco steroids episode. Let me jump to my lineup here. I went the wrong way. Questionable right now, but if Rondale Moore does go, and there's no worries about him going, but if they, he's good to go. Tell me what you think about this play, because I've been on it from the beginning when the prices first dropped. Tell me why you don't like it.
They don't target him. They just don't like. They don't like Rondale Moore for whatever reason. He's been relegated to a simple gadget player, and even though he has the physical traits that you always look for, Kyler Murray is scheming like. Cliff Kingsbury offense is so simplified. You would think that they would put Rondale Moore in a position to where he's running jet sweeps. He's running little shovel passes to get his explosiveness in space. Shoot, they did that at Purdue. Purdue ran more creative plays with Rondale Moore than the Arizona Cardinals do. That's sad. I just think if there was a better scheme around Rondale Moore to support him, then I would love the play more. But I think if he's over 4K like he is this week, that's a huge overprice for a guy who hasn't proven anything in the NFL.
So I'm not going to disagree with you on a few of those points, but I will say he had an 85% snap share, which I like. He was targeted 6 times, and his depth of target was over 10 yards. So to me, that's
new
signs.
for him. That's
signs,
new for
right?
him.
Those are signs, though. That's a promising sign. So I'm not against what you're saying. The other side of the coin does always look a little bit different, but I do think there's upside in a game that Kyler Murray. He's like the new Blake Bortles. He's just going to keep running around at the end of the games, just chucking and fucking you up with points, and I love it. I'm here for it. And so I'm hoping for a suck out late garbage time touchdown from Rondale Moore. And when I get it, I will definitely text you. And
yeah, well, I mean, you've called some of those before. I think against the Philly defense, I'm not sure you're going to get it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think things are going to go crazy in the desert. One thing I did want to talk about real quick before we get out of here is our defenses. I don't understand why Dallas doesn't have a star. They have a person, a silhouette. That's weird because in the DraftKings app, they have a star. You can just see them. They're Dallas. But I went Dallas, and it's because of you. We talked about this earlier on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Dallas is a great long shot or pay down option, not even long shot, pay down option.
How are they cheaper than last week?
I don't understand.
Like they went and crushed the Commanders just like we said they would.
Yes.
And they scored a bunch of fantasy points. They made us money. And then DraftKings drops them to the bottom of the barrel against the most turnover prone offense in the NFL in the Los Angeles. Probably they look just like the Jeff Fisher St. Louis Rams right now. It's ugly in LA, and they have no offensive line. Their offense is running every play through Tyler Higbee. If you don't think that if a second-year player like Talanoa Hufanga of the 49ers knows what play is coming and can step in front for a pick six, you don't think Trayvon Diggs, who had 11 picks last year, can do the same against Matthew Stafford this week? Especially when last week it was Nick Bosa. It was all these guys, Fred Warner getting after this offense.
He's going to be all
Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence,
beast.
Dante Fowler's on this team now.
Playing well.
What's his name that was on the Vikings? Anthony Barr at middle linebacker for the Cowboys has been playing really well. This defense is nasty, and them at 2,500 is one of my favorite plays again this week because they're priced down with all that upside. I'm doing the correlation stack with the number 1 defense in the NFL against Carolina Panthers offense that is an absolute dumpster fire.
Akers
Is this? I mean, if you're going to pay up for defense, it better be in a matchup like this. And I'm correlating it with the run game with Jeff Wilson, who's getting 80% of the carries for the 49ers, coming off a game where he rushed for over 70 yards and scored a touchdown. I don't see any reason why this can't hit.
Yeah, I'm a little scared of that, honestly. Olave, he is a target monster right now. Yeah, ridiculous. So this is a good lineup. I think it's going to be close. Where are you predicting it? Where's the line at this week? Where do you think you give yourself a little bit of an edge?
Usually I'm not the person to say I'm an underdog, but I think you're favored this week. I think your only questionable play is Rondale Moore. The rest of these guys are, for points per dollar for a cash game like this, as solid as it gets. I'd say I'd put the line at -4 in favor of Nimble.
Oh wow. This is like the first. I'm gaining respect. I'm excited. And last week
you built a hell of a lineup, so I will admit when I'm like looking at a lineup going, this is really solid.
Thank you. I listened to you as well. Honestly, yeah, that's kind of how teamwork works. But last week I also won in our little head-to-head with me, you and Mike, the GPP boost as well. So you gotta be on both.
I'm gonna set more than 6 lineups this week though, so I'm getting tired of getting kicked around in the GPP contest between us three.
Just 25 cents, 50 cents, something little, 10 cents, whatever. Build some lineups and shoot.
That's what I need to do is go and hand build more lineups, because I've been focusing on single entry tournaments and cash games, like I'm always doing.
Which is good, which is winning, but yeah,
it's winning. But I don't like losing to y'all.
It happens. Andrew's jumping in here. Said Brissett, Chubb, Njoku. I know it makes everyone throw up. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think so too.
I'm with him on Chubb and Njoku for sure.
Brissett, I will not. How about you do Chubb and Njoku, Eckler, and you can run it back with the quarterback if you want to, with some guy named Justin Herbert. I don't know.
Have you heard of him?
Oregon last week they got 59 points. So, all right, love you guys. Thanks for checking out and for sticking around, Andrew, Brad, everybody who jumped in, Craig. We are going to come back in a couple minutes for Chalk Blocked. We're going to block all that chalk. World's Sexiest DFS show.
Let's hope the producer doesn't screw up the intro of Chalk Blocked.
He's getting paid nothing. He's
fed up. He's disgruntled.
Yeah, he's been doing this too long. He's getting tired of this shit.
Baited.